Hello everybody, Dokkan here. Welcome to another Dokkan battle video. So today we're going to be jumping into the latest update version of Dokkan'S. I guess I don't want to call it Dokkan 2, bro. I don't want to call it Dokkan 2. It's just Dokkan, okay? So this whole video is going to be my thoughts talking about how lovely it is for us to get this little version update that has some really good overhaul changes. So we're gonna be discussing everything about it, what I like, what I don't like, things like that. I've only been playing for like a few days basically, because we got the update just 2 days ago, I believe, and I haven't spent that much playing Dokkan's like newest update just yet. I think we did a whole stream just discussing it and looking at the views of everything during it, and it was pretty cool. Like everything about it was really nice, so I'm super like stoked that we have this kind of like update. So initial thoughts here are that they've removed Hercule from the let's keep our promises. Of course, this is a notice that many people may or may not avoid. Just keep an eye on this one for those people who are not above 18. You know, just make sure to play the game responsibly, because it is free to play, but there are some items available for in-app purchases. And we had Hercule give us a reminder here. However, now it changed to Roshi for some reason, which is pretty interesting. Let me also, I do need to switch over to the browser, because there's a nice little detail for the home screen, but we haven't seen that yet because it's not in the game at the moment. We do have to wait until like we are getting closer and closer to the anniversary, but there's going to be a new home screen provided to us during the anniversary celebration. So let's go ahead and click here. As you guys can see, there's the normal usual login screen, but we will get a new title screen during the 10th anniversary, and I think it is one of the coolest animations ever. Let me show you that one. All right, so let's jump over to good old Twitter here. Here is the title screen animation. Like, look at that one. That is so good. Just revisiting all the previous celebrations, having the like the wallpapers for some of the previous celebrations here and there. It's just so cool. Just this will be coming down for us on the 28th, so in about like 3 days time. It says it's gonna be available at 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which for us over on the Eastern Time on EST, that is at, is that 4? That is 4 o'clock Eastern Time. So yeah, pretty big. And keep in mind as well, on the 28th, during that same day, we are going to begin the reveals for the anniversary celebration. So yeah, just pretty hype stuff all around, man. It's closing in, and we're getting just the anniversary celebration, bro. It's so good. All right, so upon logging in, you guys see that the little loading, or now loading thing kind of changed, right? So we no longer have the Goku doing the Spirit Bomb. Now we have Goku, or Kid Goku, flying on the Nimbus. So that's a nice little change. I guess we didn't need that to change, but sure, like I guess they decided to just like change that all around just to have it as a new setup there. So I'm fine with it. I don't think it's a bad change. I will of course miss like Goku doing the Spirit Bomb and things like that. So all right, so let's jump right into some of the stuff that I like. You know, there's the bottom right here, this little overhaul on the whole UI home screen here. It does seem pretty cool compared to some of the like the prior one that we have, where it's just like a little gray bar down below. The little icons that are popping up over here, like the like once you touch these little buttons, everything like looks cool. Like it actually has an effect, like the little scouter. It actually looks really cool. Then this little home screen, like, I guess scouter as well over here, just letting you know about the stamina, the XP, the dragon stones, the Seni. I think I made a joke during the stream that now we can be able to see the Seni. How much Seni do you have? Because if you notice in the previous update, you might have forgotten already because you're getting used to seeing this, but in the previous update, the Seni icon was covering like the amount of Seni that you truly have. Same with, well, not same with the dragon stones because it was getting like really close, but yeah, it was like all stuck together. So yeah. So another like interesting part of this, let me just talk about this one, link leveling. The home screen kind of stays in here, which is cool. Typically, like whenever you're going into something like this, it kind of disappears. That was in the previous update, but now it just stays there, which is cool. The auto map and the auto battle buttons changed, so that's cool. They seem a little bit more sleeker, I guess. 4 days until the 10th anniversary, which is cool. And then we have this little setup where we have the menu screen, or like the menu button. You can be able to see how, like, we can be able to see now the wheel in action. So usually you were not able to click on that. That just showed at the top right, and it basically tells you the information that it's telling you right here, where you have an advantageous type. You can be able to see that the enemy will have an arrow pointing up. It means that the enemy will have a advantageous type. So if you're fighting a character who is STR, the enemy will, like, if you have an AGL character, the enemy will have the arrow pointing up. Whilst if that enemy is fighting a tech character, and let's say the AGL character is fighting a tech character, you will see that when having a disadvantageous type, he will have the arrow pointing down, which means that he will have type disadvantage. Well, he will have type advantage up against the enemy, which will show the guard. But if the enemy has an advantageous type where he can be able to deal some more damage, if your character is an STR character, the AGL character will deal more damage, right? But this is cool that they were able to just pop the icon over here. And then of course the items, possessions, options, and abandoned quests did stay. Again, a massive overhaul on the whole UI as well, like the bottom portion of it, the Dokkan mode, the HP just looks a little bit more neat, more compact. Now we don't have the rotation wheel. However, we cannot immediately press the rotation wheel as like I'm pressing it right now, but we can't press the rotation wheel. We typically would like to see, and this is just like memory core for people, right, where people just jump in and see their initial starting rotations, but in this case we're seeing the rotation that is going to happen on the second turn. So maybe there could be a fix where we can actually just click on the next up portion and we can see who is our starting rotation. That way, I say this, but in basic example, this is also very new too as well, like the login screen and stuff. So like I say this, but like actually that was the starting rotation. Okay, so we can actually just see the starting rotation. Okay, I don't know why people are making it such a mess then. So this is the starting rotation there. So upon jumping in, you guys were able to see the little like versus screen instead of like the whole zooming in on the bosses and things like that. Now it's a little bit more again, more clean. I think the reference that a lot of people put into was that this is like watching some of those ads whenever you're playing like normal games with ads, and it shows this type of version. It's like, oh, it's like those Dragon Ball games that are not really Dragon Ball. It's just ads that you can see there. It's just the funniest thing. So in here we have a little bit of a, well, not a little bit, a big overhaul. You can see the turns going up here on top of Goldo's head. How many turns have passed, the menu button is over there, the item button is down here. And then of course you have the the classic little rotation style. Now, as you guys can see, some of these little icons for the characters have their little arrows pointing up and arrows pointing down. That means that, let's say, Ginyu is gonna attack that Goku. Goku will have type advantage up against Ginyu, and the enemy will be type disadvantageous. Or he has a disadvantageous type up against Goku. Whilst you see that there's J's with an arrow pointing up, that means he has type or an advantageous type against Goku. Granted, these guys don't hit that hard, but this is just like a nice little detail for people to know which units do have type advantage and which units do not have type advantage. So the whole background is moving as well, which is awesome. I mean, they did that where the arrows, like, well, not the arrows, like the background kind of move, but now this time around you can be a little bit more immersed in the battle, I guess I should say. It's a little fun icon to notice there. Of course, everything is different. You see the font there whenever you're getting the key, like the super attacks and stuff like that. The sprites even like move a lot slower than what they used to do, because typically, like, if you let the sprites go, and they go up and down like in a fast motion, like look at that. That little animation just going into the orbs and collecting them, that's also pretty cool. The little scouter whenever you're selecting a character is a lot more like enhanced, so people can be able to know which enemies they're attacking. Instead, I mean, yeah, they still have it where if you do pinpoint, let's pinpoint Goldo. Like, if you pinpoint Goldo here, you can be able to see that he has the scouter there. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Again, there's also the idle animations. I don't know if I can be able to see them. Depends on if the units get like an additional super attack. Hopefully they do. There we go. This is one of the idle animations there. So if they're doing like normal attacks, they've ramped up the ways that you can be able to see what type of normal attacks these guys do, and that is like one of those coolest ways to see them. It is a nice little detail. There's another idle attack animation. I say an idle attack, it's just a normal attack when they're coming through, right? So of course, just pressing the auto battle and automat buttons, they can be able to do their thing. The one thing that I don't like is that there are cut-ins, that little KO font as well. So if a unit has guard or attacks effective against all types or is able to evade, things like that, we typically have that normal transition where if we do get hit, we're like, oh my god, we gotta pray that the dodge comes through, otherwise I think we're dead. We never got to see, I mean, we were able to notice when the unit will dodge until the unit actually just super attacks you or attacks you normally, and you were able to see that the unit just randomly did the dodge. Where in this case scenario, not only if a unit is able to dodge, but he got guard, he got an additional anything. Yeah, there you go. You see that little cut in where it just, I feel like they did a lot more of work by doing that than just leaving it as is. Because if you leave it as in, it's just one cut in, it's just one transition. Oh, you do an additional attack. Okay, so you can be able to see it by just having the cut-ins, and we normally kind of have that like brushed up or ingrained in our heads. Oh, we're gonna be able to see the cut-in, and the enemy or the unit itself is going to do the additional super attack or the additional attack in general. So them doing that extra cut-in, for me, it's not that annoying, but it will possibly get annoying for people. Just having them do tons of cut-ins over there, and it's just, I don't feel like it helps. I think it delays a lot the fight, right? It kind of makes it a lot more slower, and I've even seen people saying that it lags some of the people's game for I don't know what kind of device they have. I mean, it hasn't lagged on my end, so Yeah, we can be able to see which is the opening rotation. I think that's okay. Is that the opening rotation? Yeah. I don't think that's an issue. Okay. But they have mentioned on the Japanese version of the game that they will be fixing the whole cut-ins like this, right? Where it gets like kind of annoying that it does one cut-in for just the additional, then the other cut-in there for you to be aware that the unit is doing an additional super, and then the actual cut-in comes in where it says, oh, we're gonna evade the attack, and he does the evasion there. So whereas if you don't get the evasion skill to prog, it means that the unit's just going to take the super attack. So yeah, again, they already mentioned that they were going to be fixing the issue with the cut-ins and stuff like that. So I think we are good to go on that. So next up, in terms of updates, again, the font change is also like pretty nice. Whenever a unit is doing like a unit super attack, we can be able to actually see it with the animation when a unit is doing the unit super attack, which is cool. Same with the Dokkan attack. Whenever there's a Dokkan attack coming in, the font is also very nice. It's just a rainbow font, so it is awesome. So what other, like, the one thing that I also don't like, maybe it's the optimization for the game. Again, just talking about those people who have mentioned it to me, that the game has been a little bit slower for some people, but I feel like it's fine for me on my end. But again, it all depends on the device that you have, right? For me, I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it doesn't lag the game as much as it seems to be lagging it. I feel like the game in and of itself is okay on my end. But yeah, maybe the font as well, like the damage font is a little bit something to get accustomed to, because if a unit is doing a crit, you won't be able to notice it immediately until you actually like look into it. And it's like, oh wow, the enemy is actually doing a crit. Because it's now, previously they changed the font and it actually enunciates that it was a critical damage hit. It is this time around as well that they do that, but it's just, it's a lot more shinier, more brighter. That it's like, oh, we're letting you know that there's a critical hit here, but it's brighter than what it used to be. Like, it was just maybe like sun colored yellow, where in this case around it's just like being hit with a flashbang and you don't notice it. There's no problems with these. It's just, again, some things to get accustomed to, right? But yeah, those cut-ins kind of delay how the fight is going. I don't know if they're planning on removing some of those, because we liked how it was the previous time, where they just did these cut-ins and we immediately know if the enemy or like the unit is doing an additional super attack, he's dodging, things like that. Yeah, that's the critical font right there. It's a lot more cleaner, I guess. So they didn't change anything for the level up fonts or like link level up, things like that. They didn't change any of those, which is okay. Now, as you guys can see here, the KO, like the finishing screen, is just basically the background in which you're fighting at, which is also another nice little addition. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if there's any like overhaul changes that they're going to be doing on summoning whenever we get the banners and things like that, but that also should be like pretty cool if they do like a little overhaul on the, I guess, the summoning experience. But for now, like, that was just the major like portions of the update. This also is pretty cool, where we have the challenge events separated from the awakening events. So typically they let the challenge events there, and we had the Dokkan events in here, the awakening events in here, things like that. But if you want to look for a challenge, like, all of these events are challenging rather than the awakening events, because these guys are not that challenging. Granted, we got the what is it, the prime battle of Lars, and the only way to take them on is if you have like a free-to-play team and things like that. But There shouldn't be like a difficulty in terms of like calling these events challenging. They're not challenging at all. So actually, this is also a nice little change. We're gonna go into like an ECA here. Look at the background once we jump into this one. I mean, what is it? What team? Is it transformation boost? Oh, buddy, you're gonna be in for a treat. Let me change the team real quick for transformation boost. So this one in particular I really do like, because it's a very cool transition to jumping into the ECA event. But I'll show you once we compose the team. You leap transformation boost, right? Yeah. We'll have the villains. Actually, no. I put STR Kip. Is STR Kip in here? Yeah. Put him in there. Buhan or yeah, this guy. Yeah, just like a full Majin Buu team, I guess. One more. I guess I can add you for now. All right. Look at the little animation as you go. Yeah, look at that. That looks sick. That is pretty cool. Like those little animations there entering to the ECA stage are very nice. The HP bar, like if you have a strong enemy, particularly the HP bar that they have focused on, that is also like very, very cool looking. The details, just everything overall is like a nice little, I think somebody described it as like eye candy, which is cool. It's like one nice little detail there. So yeah, I think these are nice. I think these are like very cool things to look into. So yeah, there's the background there. It's like the ECA background basically. So yeah, there you go. My thoughts are like, I like this game. I like the overhaul update and everything. I don't think they did anything wrong with it. I know that a lot of people were like angry at the fact that we had to wait like a day for us to get the update, but again, this is to visualize if there's issues on their end, and we can be able to send them feedback regarding the update if there's any issues. And now they know that there's an issue with the cut-ins whenever a unit is doing an additional super attack or dodging or showing the skills, things like that. We can be able to just let them know, hey, there's some issues going on with the app, so how about you change these things, right? So yeah, like the overall look of the game just looks phenomenal. So I can't wait as to like what they can continue to modify in the game. I don't think there's any issues. Maybe a little bit of a change in this little screen there in the middle. Maybe they can be able to change these things, right? How the missions look. They can be able to show us a little bit more on how to overhaul this, maybe, because they can compact those into one go. Same with the Baba Shop. Maybe they can change some of these things here and there. But yeah, it's just some minor details and things like that that can do in the future. But for now, yeah, the update looks phenomenal. It is freaking cool that even after 10 years, this game looks really good. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. What are your thoughts regarding this new version update? I'm gonna call it version update, so people can understand. Like, I'm not gonna call it Dokkan 2. For me, it's not Dokkan 2. It's just a new version of the game that just made some incredibly good looking overhauls. So but yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.